Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Flezza. How are we doing today? Today, I am, whew, I'm feeling quite stressed. Um, I feel like there's just a myriad of things going on in my life that are all converging together at the same time, and everything is just a mess because of that. And I just can't deal with everything all at the same time. But that's the way life is sometimes, even for ourselves. So anyway, we're going back to this Theorycraft that I am quite fond of doing. It's been something that's been kind of fun for me to do, where we take some oh gosh, some of my popular fellow VTubers, and we turn them into a semi-functional, both from a mechanics and, as best as we can, lore perspective, D&D character using current 5th edition rules. Now, if I haven't said this before, I'm going to say it now. I am not I do not have all-encompassing knowledge about every aspect of all of my fellow VTubers out there, especially the popular ones, which it's very easy to, well, easier, I should say, to collect some data on to try and formulate these characters. So you're welcome to disagree with some of the choices that I make in these builds, but I'm just going based off of what I know and doing the best I can from that. Now, I will also say it was very difficult to. This party was not easy, or not the easiest to rough out in the beginning. Because what I do for this is I go through and I kind of make some preliminary decisions. Basically, I go through and I decide, hey, what class am I going to make them? You know, and then I kind of go from there. Now, this group was a little bit difficult, more difficult because of previously mentioned. I don't know everything about all of my fellow VTubers. Once again, though, we are going to look at a group of HoloLive VTubers. And the reason I again have chosen to use HoloLive for this D&D Theorycraft, I know what you might be asking. You know, why don't I choose, some other agencies' groups, some other agencies' VTubers? It's a fair question. I've looked at some of the other VTuber agencies out there, but it's a little more difficult to go around and construct 4 to 5 or 4 to 6, depending on how you want to look at it, member parties when maybe they don't have that many in a given debut set, or they have, just a large number of talents, but they're not divided up into any sort of, generations or anything. HoloLive, at the very least, so far, has done a much better job of having kind of the ideal party number, 4 or 5 per grouping. So it's a whole lot easier to just go off of HoloLive's structure for party making. Simply because I don't have to say, oh, I have to choose this VTuber over this VTuber, and people will be from other, who are fans of other VTubers, and be like, oh, why'd you pick them over them? Those kinds of things. So anyway, I think that's enough disclaimers here. Let's take a look first off at the particular group that we're going to do. So looking at my scroll here, what is the HoloLive generation, I guess you could say, generation, that I picked for this particular party? Now this one, I will say, is a bit smaller than the others. It's only 4 members big in size, because we are looking at the Holo Gamers today. Now, if you know your HoloLive talents, you know that the Holo Gamers are Karone, Okayu, Mio, and Fubuki. And that's actually the order that we're going to go in today. So, let's pull up. Yes, we're looking at Karone first. Now, because there are 4 members in this party as opposed to 5, everybody is gonna, I'm gonna put a disclaimer here, everybody's gonna have a bit more of a kind of a semi-mixed role compared to my other parties that I've designed, which have had kind of 5 roles to them. So everybody's going to be a bit blended. Everybody's going to have a little bit of, something else in there to kind of help balance out everything. But I'm still going to go as a general rule with the 5 roles that I've previously described in my other parties. That being tank, healer, damage dealer, mage, and expert. Now, looking at the members of Holo Gamers, it was very difficult to decide who was going to be who. And so when we get to each one, I'll kind of explain each one. But we're looking at Karone here first. And really, in my opinion at least, the best of the 5 roles that Karone kind of fits into is the expert role. I feel, at least personally, she might be one of the strongest of the gamers when it comes to just the various games, and has done so much. She's probably, I think, might be one of the, I think only Fubuki may be more popular than her. I don't know what the current subscriber statistic, the various subscriber statistics are for them currently. But anyway, but I was also looking, as I was going through and kind of loosely filling out their roles, and there's not really a good candidate for mage in Holo Gamers. So I also said, well, if Karone is kind of the expert, maybe she could dabble in a bit of magic too. So that may give you some hints. So let's go. Boom. We have Karone as our expert / mage here of the party. Now, wait, let's keep Karone visible here. Oh, by the way, I'm using D&D Beyond. This is not sponsored by D&D Beyond. This is not, an endorsement. Use whatever kind of character builders that you would prefer to. But this is the one that I prefer to use. Now, like with every other build that I've done here for D&D Theorycraft, we're going to choose custom lineage here because this allows us to maintain our, each VTuber's physical appearance and kind of can help us more easily balance the stats and such. Obviously, for size, we're going to pick medium here. And today's feat for, well, you can't see the drop down menu, of course, but today's feat for Karone is going to be skill expert here. And the reason we're going to choose that is because, oh, they changed skill expert. Interesting. I didn't even. There's been some changes to D&D rules recently. I haven't really made a character since then. So it'll be interesting to see some of the more interesting things. We're going to choose for a variable trait proficiency, and we're going to give the skill acrobatics for that. I think it was it feels like it was just yesterday, but it was like a few weeks ago, I think, technically at this point, where she did the cartwheel on a 3D stream, on somebody's 3D stream. I forget whether it was her own or something, but I saw the clip of that, so it was very nice. We're also going to choose for Karone. Apparently, we get to pick a skill. We're going to choose performance for her here. Give her the performance skill here. We get to choose proficient. Choose a skill in which expertise with the skill in question. So we'll come back to that here in a moment, I think. We're going to choose the dexterity score here for skill expert, though. So we'll come back to that one final thing here in a moment. Now, I mentioned kind of the expert. Karone, I feel like, is kind of the expert, and also slightly is going to kind of fill the mage role here. And you may, from looking at my previous videos about D&D Theorycraft, the expert has kind of gone rogue here. I feel like rogue is a very fitting class in a way. Not necessarily because Karone is a scoundrel, but is kind of stealthy and trickery to overcome obstacles and enemies. So we're going to give her the rogue class, and much like every other build, we're going to bump to level 5 for her character, just like with every other one. We look at her proficiency. She gets 4 skills as a rogue. We're going to give the deception. I'm Die, thank you forever. After all, we're going to give her the investigation. We're going to give her some perception, and we're going to give her some sleight of hand. She's not a stealthy rogue, I would say. Now we get 2 rogue expertise. We're going to give those to her sleight of hand, and we're going to give that to it to her acrobatics here. Of course, she gets sneak attack, thieves' cant, cunning action. Now our rogue archetype is where we really gain the kind of mage role for her. And that being said, you've probably figured out that we're going to go with the arcane trickster here, which I also feel is very kind of fitting for her. I feel like she is very much a trickster. So the mage hand Ledgerman is a good thing because, you know, yoink. Some ASI here, which we're gonna go with the straight ASIs here, and we're gonna pump those into her dexterity, both points, as well. So let's go over to her ASIs to begin with, and we'll give her the +2. We're gonna give her +2 dexterity here from her racial ability that she's going to get. So you can see right here, we already have +5 here. So you can see at level, well, technically 4, when we choose the standard array of scores, we dump that 15 dexterity. She's already at level 20 for that dexterity. Very, very nice as a D&D character to have it that early. We're going to give her the 14 to the con and the 13 to the intelligence, because we will need that intelligence for the arcane trickster stuff that we want her to do. Charisma, definitely a charismatic girl. We're going to make wisdom her dump stat here, just because I feel like that would be a little bit funny. Personally, again, the kind of I'm die, thank you forever. Falling back there. Let's go back to the race, to the race, where we still have the excuse me, one choice to make. So we're gonna give it to the deception here, because again, trickster. Really, I guess we could put you know, the expertise bonus for acrobatics here on the racial, seeing that we did give her acrobatics as the skill racial, and then deception as the class expertise. Technically, I guess we could do that, but whatever. So description, we get a language of choice here. Now, there's not really dog. But she does have a very close relationship with Okayu. They are commonly shipped together after all, if I do recall correctly. So we're going to give her Leonin here as bonus language, since that's the only straight up background language that makes sense. When it comes to let's see here, if I recall, let me pull up another window here. I need to check something. Alive talents. Here we are. Don't judge me for having that so easily pulled up. Karone. Here we are. If I recall correctly, according to her talent page, from a bakery in the city. Okay, that's what I thought it was. So in that case, I think the best thing to kind of do would be, let's go the Guild Artisan, Guild Merchant background here, because I think that would be fun. You know, I don't know how much she plays up the bakery aspect of her history, because I'm not skilled in Japanese, in case that's not clear already. So I don't watch a lot of direct streams of Japanese talents. This is across all VTubers. I mostly just watch clips that have been gratefully subbed by skilled and knowledgeable people. Or at least I hope they're skilled and knowledgeable, because I wouldn't be able to tell you the difference. Given that, however, that she bakery, let's do, for extra language here, let's go with Dorvish. I don't know why, but it seems to make sense to me. And obviously, if we're going to go with bakery, we have to give tools as cooked utensils. Now we choose the equipment here. Totally very much a short sword, I feel like. Would definitely fit Karone better than a rapier. She's not much for... I don't feel like she's would be much of a stylistic fighter. More kind of a straight up, beat 'em up. We'll give her the short bow though, because I feel like she's flexible. She would have range as well. Burglar's pack, I think that makes a lot of sense, especially because it has the 10 feet of string. Perfect for teasing Okaigu the cat with. Got their leather armor, 2 daggers, and thieves' tools. Set of artisan tools. Of course, we're going to give her the cook utensils for that. No other introductions, no other choices that we really need to make, at least on this page. So we'll just equip everything here and take a look at her character sheet now. We do have some spell choices to make because she is an arcane trickster. So we'll look at that. But this is generally, excuse me, Karone here. 38 hit points, 16 armor class here at level 5. Let's go into the spells and do some spell management here. Now we get up to 3 cantrips, which for the purposes of, obviously we'll give her the mage hand. Makes quite a bit of sense here. Because she doesn't have dark vision, we definitely need something to kind of give her. Now I think partially that doesn't really make the most sense here, given that she is a dog. But it's kind of what we have to go with here. Of course, you can't see some of the choices that I'm making because between me and Karone blocking the spell list over here. That's okay. We'll choose the dancing lights because if she doesn't have dark vision, then she needs a light source as a good sort of thing. We're actually going to give her True Strike. I feel like True Strike is it's an underused cantrip, definitely. But gaining advantage on an attack roll, hey, it's not terrible. So those are her 3 cantrips, and then let's look at her spells. Now, if I recall correctly, actually, let's take a look at the traits here. Spells known at first level. 2 must be enchantment type spells. The Arcane Trickster spellcasting table. Knows up to 4 spells, blah blah blah. The spells that she can learn at 8th, 14th, and 20th level can come from whatever school of magic. But each spell over over one of the initial 3 must be okay. So we only have the enchantment and illusion spells for 3 of the spells. That's fine. We can manage that. Add spells. Look at first level. Actually, let's pull up a new tab. We have to look at the wizard spell list. And let's add some advanced filters here. Enchantment and illusion. Filter our spells. Oh, and they only get to be first level spells. Just because of how yeah, only get to be first level spells. So, first level spells that are enchantment or illusion. From the wizard spell list: Charm Person, Color Spray, Disguise Self. That's probably something that she would take. Hey, how's it going? It's going great. Yes, 5th edition. So, yeah, 5 spells. We need to choose 3 from this short list. Yes, we're going to give her Disguise Self. Definitely. We're going to give her Color Spray, huh? Yeah, sleep is first level. Yeah, that's pretty good. Color Spray and sleep. Yeah, I think that's good. That's a good choice. Yeah. Color spray, and sleep. Especially in the earlier levels when you can roll high and there's low HP. Potentially, it's less effective in the later levels when your enemy's HP is really high for sleep. And then we just get one that we can pick from any as well. Now, because she's also filling slightly a bit here the mage role for our party, we're going to give her Identify as well. Boom. So, this is our very rough draft of Corone as our Hollow Gamers party rogue. Did I take Find Familiar? No. Because Arcane Tricksters at level 5, like we're building here, only get one choice. That's not enchantment or illusion. And because for her, she's kind of filling the mage role. Identify. Maybe she'd take Find Familiar later. But anyway, so yes, that is our roughly expert slash mage Karone here for our Hollow Gamers party. Oh, spoiler. So going on to our next character, roughly. Quick attunement with the rogue subclass? No. I don't think so. Features, traits, sneak attack. No, no quick attunement. So moving on to our next character that we're going to build for the Hollow Gamers party, based off our wonderful little cat girl here, Okayu. Oops. Roughly, as I said previously, we're gonna put Okayu in the roughly damage role here. Damage dealer is kind of her primary role in our theoretical party here. So like with every other character build that we do, we choose custom lineage that allows them to keep their appearance and such things. So, boom, custom lineage. Of course, size medium. Feet we'll come back to. Variable trait. Cat, we have to go with dark vision on this. Makes the most sense. I had some trouble kind of figuring out which role Okayu should really play as kind of a damage dealer. But I ended up going, and this may perhaps be a controversial pick here. But I ended up going with Ranger. Because Okayu's lore, after all, is that she comes from... Okay, hang on, let me double check before I continue and say something stupid here. Okayu. Yes. Yeah. She's the cat of an old woman. So we went with Ranger. I went with Ranger in my mind because lots of cats, cat lady, so on. Looking at the particulars of her skills, that gives her survival, not perception, stealth. That's what I wanted to pick. And then the last one was kind of weird. But I think animal handling fits best since she's often shipped with Karone. Gotta handle the dog, after all. Oh, right. Set it to level 5, as we do with all these characters here. Favorite enemy, we're gonna go with... Gosh, I'm not sure. Let's go with beasts. And we'll give her... What would work well with beasts? Something that kind of works really good. Let's go with... let's go with Sylvan. Natural Explorer. I feel like none of the options for Natural Explorer... Vermin. Vermin isn't an actual choice, though. So Beast is probably the closest to Vermin. Natural Explorer. Choice. There's not really a city option, which I feel would... Yes, they do kill rats. There's not really a city option. So I think probably something like grassland might work best. It's questionable. Fighting style, we're going to go with... What is Druidic Warrior? 2 cantrips on the Druid spell list. Like I said, there's been some new options thrown in since I've last made a character. We're going to focus on her being kind of our ranged character damage, after all. So we're going to take the archery style. Now, Ranger archetype, there are, of course, some great choices. There are some not so great choices. Of course, Ranger is kind of a underappreciated class sometimes. But I decided to go Gloomstalker. And the reason for that is primarily the Dread Ambusher, which definitely kind of fits. And then the Umbral Sight kind of fits in with the cat theme. So that's kind of why I went with that over some of the other types of Ranger. 4th level ASIs, we're just going straight ASIs for this. 2 points to dexterity. And actually, let's pick the spells now. First level spells, we get a total. We have a total of 4 spells we can gain. If you're gonna go Ranger, probably always Hunter's Mark. It's a pretty good one to have just in general. Let's go Cure Wounds. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of sharing of responsibilities among this party. So we'll grab Detect Magic for her as well. How good is Zephyr Strike? I forget. Advantage on a weapon attack roll and 1d8 force. Bonus 30 feet on a single turn. Hail of Thorns. Let's go with Snaring Strike, because that'll be able to lock down an enemy, in theory. Straight ASI to dexterity bonus from her race. Standard array choices. We got a +4 to our dex, so we'll throw our 14 here, which puts her at 18 at level 5, or level 4 technically, but it's a pretty good boost right there. Now she needs the wisdom bonus, because that from that Dread Ambusher, bonus to initiative equal to wisdom modifier. A little bit of charisma. And con is always good. We're dumping strength in this particular instance, though. Jumping back over to her feat that we never chose back at the beginning. Now we have a greater sense of where her character is at right now. So we're going to choose Sharpshooter here, because Sharpshooter is a great choice for ranged characters. Risky, but worth it. Then we'll jump back over to our background, just which we need a good cat language, so we're going to choose the Leonin. And as a kind of cat in a cat lady's house, what would work best here? Let's go with Cloistered Scholar. No, not Cloistered Scholar. Hermit. Some unknown discovery. Yeah, I think that will work. Who knows what's hiding in an old lady's house, after all. So we need some language. Let's go with Undercommon in this particular instance, because Gloomstalkers are very good for Underdark adventures anyway. Some nice equipment choices to make. Let's go with the leather. Short swords. Actually, let's go with 2 simple melees. Daggers are always useful. You never know. And we'll go explorers. Longbow. No choices to make for hermit. Add our starting equipment. Use wield. Where wield. And boom. Come on, load. Here is our rough character sheet for Okayu. Got a nice 39 hit points, 15 armor class, good initiative count at 6. Good for dealing that damage quickly and early in a turn. Nice well-rounded, kind of more survival-y type of build here for our character. Moving on to the next character on the list. Now, obviously, there are 2 more gamers to go, but it's a little more difficult to kind of figure out where these 2 characters, or who kind of what. I don't know. I don't really know how to word this. Neither character, in my opinion, at least, really kind of fits the 2 remaining roles of the party. We have tank and we have healer. It is very kind of rough decision. So let's go with who I ended up picking for healer. And that, I think, might not really surprise people. for healer, I picked Mio. And the reason I picked Mio for the healer role is more because, let's change the picture here. Where's Mio? There's Mio. I know I found the picture for Mio. Now, the reason I put Mio as the healer is because she's often considered the mama of Hololive, and kind of, just in general. Kind of has that, I guess, matronly air about her, I guess. So that's why I picked Mio to be the healer of the party. So let's go through and build Mio here. Now, typical, we pick our custom lineage. Now, of course, natural pick size medium. And we choose a feat, in which case, this time we're going to take the healer feat right off the top. Kind of makes sense for her. After all, we are making her the healer of the group. We're going to give her dark vision. I'm not as certain, personally, about the skills that Mio typically portrays. So we are sticking with simple choices, I guess you could say. Could be argued. Now, like I said, it was even more difficult. Now that once I decided Mio was going to be the healer, because of that kind of matronly air about her, what sort of class could we kind of give her to kind of reflect that? Because everybody does fighting. I'm not saying that Mio doesn't, can't or won't fight. But I think cleric actually makes the best of the kind of, generally speaking, two healer classes for her. When I say generally two healing classes, I mean cleric and druid are kind of considered to be the healing classes, at least in my opinion. Of course, paladins are kind of half healers. Rangers are kind of half healers. And then we do have the Celestial Patron for Warlock and the Divine Soul Sorcerer, which could also be used for healing purposes, but neither of those really fit Mio, in my opinion at least. So I went with Cleric. Now, level 5, of course, as we do with all of these characters. Choosing skills, we'll pick a medicine, because we do need her to be a functional healer. And I'm also going to give her persuasion, being kind of I would consider her, since she's considered to be kind of the matron, this motherly character, motherly person, to kind of be a more negotiator type almost when it comes to what kind of person she is. So I decided to go, and this is kind of reflected in the domain option that I picked for her. I went with the peace domain. Now, I'm not as familiar, but given that she gets proficiency in insight, performance, or persuasion. We already gave her persuasion, so let's choose the insight in this case. Emboldening bond. Yeah. Peace. We're going to give her straight ASIs here, but we're going to do this to wisdom this time. Which I think is very important here. Let's go to the spells now. She gets Heroism, Sanctuary Aid, Warding Bond, Beacon of Hope, and Sending. Just for being the Peace Cleric. go to the cantrips here. Looking at cantrips. Now she has dark vision. After all, she is a wolf. Excuse me. We're gonna pick word of radiance. Guidance is also very, very good spell. You should almost probably always take that as a cleric. We're gonna choose Spare the Dying, of course. Very important to have all those options for healing. And then we're gonna take the Sacred Flame here. Now, we're just going to pick some initial spells. She is 5, well, maybe 6 once we do the ASI improvements. Actually, let's do those right now. Standard array of choices. We're going to give her the +2 to her strength, though, from her racial. We're going to put the 14 in the wisdom with +2 from our ASI. It's going to make a nice 16 here at level 4. We're actually going to put the 12 in her strength. She's not going to be our primary fighter here. 15 in con. We'll do straight 10 in dex, 13 in intelligence. We'll make dexterity her dump stat, unfortunately. Not typically advised for dump stats to be dex, but kind of, in my opinion, makes the most sense. Let's go back to the spells here. Yeah, we get 8 spells. You know, much better. We're just going to pick the spells that she would probably typically carry, because clerics have that great ability to change their spells every day in game. Probably almost always take Bless. Bless is a very good spell after all. Cure Wounds, Healing Word. Very good spells to have on hand. Let's see about second level spells. Prayer of Healing, Spiritual Weapon, good ones to have. Let's take Calm Emotions. Kind of fits the lore kind of character build that we're going for. And whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to look at third level spells. She always has Beacon of Hope prepared. Let's grab her with the Dispel Magic. And Revivify. I think that's a good set of choices to make that she would probably typically have most, if not all, of those spells at once. Going with the language, I think we're gonna put Leonin here. I feel like that would be kind of like the secret language of the gamers at this point. And then I believe, let's take a look at the lower page just to double check that. There's not a whole lot on Korone, Okayu, and Mio. Yeah. Not really a good option that gives us some information to base a choice off of. So let's go with feel like her outfit in question, at least, that I'm using for the artwork here. It's kind of shrine maiden-y. Kind of like a hybrid between shrine maiden and schoolgirl. I don't know if that's the best combination to base this choice off of for the background. Oh gosh. Let's go with well, Acolyte would make the most sense if we're going with the Shrine Maiden route. Though really that's more Miko's role. She's a Shrine Maiden. But, you know what? I think we'll go for it. She gets religion. We get to pick another skill for her. Let's go with... she is a wolf after all. Let's make her slightly intimidating. We get two choices of language here. Let's go Sylvan. And we'll give her Celestial in this case. If we're going to choose this kind of Shrine Maiden-y route, that kind of would make some sense. Quick equipment choices. Not proficient with Warhammer, so we gotta go with Mace here. She would wear the heavier armor, so we'll go with Scale. Simple weapon. Yes. When in doubt, go with a dagger. We'll take the Priest's Pack, Shield, and Holy Symbol, which will make Amulet, I guess, in this case. Choose another Holy Symbol. Yeah, Amulet. Let's do Book. And go. Oops. Wield. Wear. Utilize more than wear a shield, in my opinion. Had to cough. It's a particularly bad one. And voila, here roughly is our character sheet of Mio. Nice 38 hit points, 15 armor class. She does have the -1 initiative though. She can get a 0 on her initiative. Oh, that's funny. In some ways. In other ways, not so much. In a practical application, it's not very useful. But, you know, it is what it is. Some nice choices here. Got, of course, our spells. Pretty standard array of choices for spells, really. Not a whole lot of, I would say, that kind of plays into, except maybe Calm Emotions, which I grabbed. But it's a decent choice, set of choices, I think. So that there is our build for Mio. Now, of course, of the rough 5 roles that I have selected, that I utilize here for this D&D Theorycraft build, is the tank. That's the only one that's not expressed here. And we only have one character left. Or one person left. to D&D eyes, I guess you could say. So, who is our tank? Well, of course, it is Fubuki. And let's get the picture of Fubuki. There's Fubuki. There we are. Oh my. Fubuki, you picture grew a little big there. Alright. So here's our fox. Friend? Yes, friend. Not wife, friend. Always friend. Custom lineage. Choose race. Of course, we do the custom things all the time. We're going to take our size as medium. We're going to choose a nice feat here for a tank. We're going to choose the... No, it's too early to take the tough feat. Let's go with, what is durable? Let's go with durable. And variable trait. This one, I think, is the dark vision. Going to be dark vision as well. This port leaves, unfortunately, poor Karone as the only one without dark vision in the party. But we just got to deal with it. Now, it's very difficult, in my opinion, to pick a tank class for Fubuki. None of them, I feel like, really embodies her character. She doesn't, or at least not that I know of, she's not known for raging. So barbarian doesn't really work. I didn't feel like any of the fighter archetypes really did a good job of, defining her. So it was like, well, that only really leaves paladins. But she's not much like most of the gamers, actually, and this is the problem that we had, why there's not really a mage character after all. They're not the Hollow Gamers group is not exactly known for necessarily having a magical flair to them. But I decided to go with Paladin, ultimately. Now, why did I decide to go with Paladin? Because I decided, bump to level 5, as we do for all of our things, I decided to make her Sacred Oath, Oath of the Ancients, since that's kind of considered to be kind of the nature paladin. It almost felt kind of somewhat the least paladin-y paladin that we could maybe make. It would kind of give her some flair to kind of be unique from the other tanks that we've made so far, too. That's the other thing I kind of wanted to really go with in Fubuki's build. It's kind of be a different tank than the tanks that we've already done as well. So I went with Oath of the Ancients. Now her efficiency is she's going to get the Athletics skill, and she's also going to get the Persuasion skill. After all, friend, only friend. Fighting style, what does Blessed Warrior do? Oh, 2 Cleric cantrips. Let's give her guidance then. And let's also give her the Word of Radiance. Word of Radiance being friend. Plus, then she can also hit pretty hard with the smites behind her. Kind of take on some of the damage roll if Okayu can't pull up. Now we need a lot of skills as a paladin, but for Fubuki it just kind of made sense, in my opinion, to bump that charisma score for her on just about every occasion that we can. We're going to do the standard rate, but we are going to give her, in order to be an effective tank, we are going to give her a strength score from her racial ability bump here. We're going to put the 14 in strength. She's not going to be the burliest paladin out there, but we are going to give her the 15 con, which I think we have to go back and check on the feat. We're going to put the 13 in her charisma to make her a 15 charisma. She's pretty close to, you know, getting that next level of charisma. 10 wisdom. She's also going to dump dex. Not typically advised, but given that she's paladin, it's going to make some more sense. Increase constitution score by 1. Why did it not increase our constitution score? Let's change it for a moment. Durable. There we go. Maybe it just hasn't kicked in yet. So we're making Lianin the unofficial language of this party. And then Fubuki. Now Fubuki's page on Hololive is very different from everybody, all the other three. She's got like loads of information that allows us to help pull and make decisions from. But wants to be top otaku idol. Which is very easy to then choose. Let me just make sure there's not a better one. Nope. Little better choice than to choose Cloistered Scholar, in my opinion, here for this one. We'll give her nature and she gets history, of course. She gets 2 languages. Kind of made. I don't know if Celestial's a good pick, but hey, let's call it a decent pick, and we'll give her Sylvan as well. Get some quick equipment choices here. Martial weapon and shield, of course. The ever versatile longsword. Let's go with a simple weapon where, in my opinion, you can't go wrong with a dagger on hand. We'll take the Explorer's Pack. She's not really the religious character that we're doing exactly here. We'll do like an emblem that's like on her shield or something. Boom. Use, wear, wield, and use. Oh, we have to pick spells, of course. She gets 4 spells. Let's see what's in our first level. I think we'll take Shield of Faith. And let's do Compelled Duel. Let's take a look at the second level spells. Just to see. Fubuki is really good at Among Us, or at least it seems to be that she's really good at Among Us, along with Suisei. So I think Zone of Truth is a good pick for her. Let's go back to the first level because I feel like she's also the type that would take Bless. Picked equipment. View our character sheet for Fubuki. And there we have it. She's a bit tankier at... Oh, okay. See, the Constitution bonus was added here. I don't know why it wasn't added on the main page. She's a bit bulkier at a nice 49 hit points here at level 5. 18 armor class while wielding her shield. You know, pretty average paladin, I would say, across the board. So there we have it. There's Fubuki. So, to summarize, at the Hollow Gamers party, we have our expert mage as a arcane trickster rogue in Karone. We have our damage dealer as a Gloomstalker ranger in Okayu. We have our healer, our peaceful negotiator, I guess you could say, in Neo as a peace cleric. Then we have our Oath of the Ancients paladin, a not necessarily the most devout of paladins, I guess you could say, in Fubuki. So there we have it, folks. That is our HoloLive Hollow Gamers party. Thank you so much for coming to check this out and listen to this ridiculous concept again as I D&D party a group of HoloLive characters. Of my fellow far more popular VTubers out there. Boom. Like big now. Anyway, thank you so much for coming to this stream. There will now be a stream tomorrow. It turns out the event I was thinking I was going to be going to somebody is not going to be able to make it, and we kind of want everybody to be there, so it got canceled again. Just actually just before the stream that happened. So this is the first time, hey, we get to notice this. Thank you so much for coming to today's stream, though. My name is Flizza. Really enjoyed doing this. It's a nice, kind of relaxing thing to do. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, everybody, thank you so much. Until you come back, stay safe, healthy, all that wonderful stuff. I'll see you guys then. Bye bye.